Cards going to 3. First one will be Infinity Archfiend. I will post Archfiend every time in my ban list prediction until Konami brings it back to 3. Hopefully when Infinity Sage comes to TCG, Archfiend will come back to 3.
A couple of cards that I would put to 3 without really worrying about would be, I don't know, Cyberstein, Infernity Archfiend, Red Eyes Darkness, Meadow Drag.
Infernity Archfiend can come off because every Infernity can come off as long as they don't have 3 lawn chair.
Infernity Archfiend, people want it to 3. I might just be a boomer that remembers it from back in the day as like the original build, the board, the workshop deck. I personally would like to see it probably stay at 1, but I think it could peel to 3. We don't have 3 max C here in the TCG like the OCG has, which helps counter this a little, but it probably would be fine at 3. I'm just scared like I am of Necroface, I suppose.
Infernity Archfiend. Spoiler alerts, Infernity never really had a difficult time with finding the Archfiend because they had like a trillion ways to search it out. But the biggest thing with Infernity is probably the launcher. Like, looping launchers is probably one of the sillier parts about this deck. Infernity Archfiend is just kind of like the caveat or like the gateway to get to launcher, and I think as long as like launcher stays at 1, Archfiend can come back to 3, no problem. This card's like really good, but it's not as good as everyone thinks.
Why the fuck is Infernity Archfiend at 3 or at 1? Dude, Archfiend's been on this list for like 15 years.
Infernity Archfiend, obligatory. This card has been in basically all my predictions because the deck doesn't do anything. Putting this card at 3 doesn't do anything. Deck's dead. Keep the launcher at 1 and the deck is honestly quite fine.
Infernity Archfiend to 3, Konami, it's been 7 years or something. It's about time you move on. So the issue with Infernity Archfiend is that I guess Infernity are a cheater deck, but I don't think that's actually a good reason to keep this card limited. Besides, you don't even play this that much in Infernity. Like, okay, wait, I said that wrong. You wouldn't play 2 or 3 copies in Infernity. I think you would only play 1 copy anyway. We should be getting the Infernity support imports in Brothers of Legend. Therefore, unlimiting Archfiend makes sense. Then again, they didn't do it with Phantom Rage, so who knows.
Next card is Infernity Archfiend. Infernity in the OCG Archfiend is at 3, it does absolutely nothing, and it would be the same here. Archfiend is not a card that can come up like too often in events like now because there are so many better combo decks and that they are more consistent in what they do, they're more resilient, or they're better going second. Inferniti's, out of all 3 of these things I mentioned, going second is basically the only thing they can do because they can play so many monsters on the field, they can OTK you very easily, but they are not that consistent with the cards that they have on their axis right now, and they're not resilient at all. If you just get DD Crottery or Archfiend or something like that, or if you get Veilered on Archfiend, you don't have anything else because inherently your hand is empty, so if you don't get this search follow-up, something like Mirage or your launcher, then your play stops right there. So yeah, I think Infernity Archfiend can come back and will probably come back to 3 eventually, but it's just a matter of time because Konami still seems to be scared of this deck because it has been able to become meta a lot of times by now, but now this card is not going to do much.
The last card that I want to make serious mention of is my boy Infernity Archfiend. Why is this card at 1? It could come to 3, the deck would still do nothing. Except put up 9 negates, alright? It's not a lot though. All it does is put up 9 negates, guys. You don't believe me, go look at my deck profiles, I'm telling you right now. But I do think now is the time, guys. It's either going to stay at 1 forever, or this could be the time. Like, the time realistically would have been about a year ago when they were releasing the new Infernity support, and that literally shook me to my core that they didn't bring this card back to 3. But another deck that Konami fears, so it's possible that they won't do it. This is a little bit of a wish listy one, but I'm telling you, like, it would do nothing. Now, if you bring back Launcher to 3, now, we're going to have a serious conversation, alright? Launcher to 3 and Archfiend to 3, deck is instantly strong.
I'd like to see Infernity Archfiend to 2. It's not going to do anything at 2. Heck, it's probably not even going to do anything at 3, but I've noticed that in the last couple ban lists with cards that they're putting them to 2, seeing how they are on the just in the meta in general, and then bringing it back to 3 from there. So I think that they would probably bring Infernity Archfiend to 2, and then to 3, and then possibly Launcher at a later date, or vice versa, one or the other.
Es el Infernity Archfiend, que por alguna razón esta carta sigue en la lista. Es un deck que recibió soporte hace más de un año sin resultados competitivos de ningún tipo, es un cañón de cristal, pierde más contra sí mismo. Mientras más pasa el tiempo, más se hace una interrogante de cómo es que esta carta sigue en la lista. Incluso esta carta que actualmente está limitada no la pongo a semilimitadas porque no haría diferencia de ponerla a 2 o a 3. Es algo muy similar a Firewall Dragon o Symbol of Heritage que ya tuvimos en sus momentos. No haría ninguna diferencia de pasar de prohibidas o incluso de limitadas a liberadas por completo.
Ewig Infernale Erzunterwelter könnte dann auch endlich mal auf 2 kommen. Auch eine Karte, die aktuell gar nichts macht. Ich meine, das ganze Deckthema macht nichts. Man würde vielleicht irgendwelche Rogue-Decks daraus zusammenbasteln, aber das wäre auch nichts, was irgendwie schädlich fürs Spiel wäre. Deswegen auch hier der Erzunterwelter gerne auf 2, ich glaube.
E infine Infinity Archfiend. Non capisco perché liberano Engage. Ci sia ancora questo in banlist. Questa è la nostra banlist. Cosa ne pensate sotto nei commenti? Ovviamente. E soprattutto se avete altre carte da mettere qua sotto, vogliamo sentire le vostre opinioni. Magari avete cambiato qualcosa. Sicuramente diranno ma non guardare i cagari, non ha fatto niente di male. Mi dispiace, ma non è molto forte. Come mazzo, vero? Ma guarda, ho fatto anche la coppia giusta. Esattamente questo è il problema. Questa bella coppia insieme è il problema vero. Però, come al solito, lasciate un bel like, iscrivetevi al canale, campanellina. La nostra banlist è banniamo tutto quello che fa male, non tocchiamo altro.
No, infatti, banniamo tutte le carte problematiche.
Esatto. Non tocchiamo i mazzi perché è bello vedere questi mazzi. C'è varietà a livello di mazzi. Però hanno delle carte che sono letteralmente schifose. Cioè, sono letteralmente schifose. Quindi.
Archfiend, right? Oh, pure. There to some like really oh, really on toolbox-based deck way back then, Infernity Archfiend, that kind of stuff. Guess what? I haven't heard Infernity for about 7, 8 years. I don't think it's that right now. I don't think you can probably hang what's going on now. Say like toolbox, I think of Dark Warrior, and guess what? Dark Warrior. After how much I try to make it, doing nothing. But no, never know. But yeah, still for that same reason for Archfiend thing. So that could be one of those. Oh my God, support the fan base. Here's your one more Archfiend. You're like, oh my God, Archfiend's broken. Here comes Team Samurai X1 being like, oh my God, best deck now for Archfiend. Well, it was Konami thing. No, I just quoted a probably subtitle for them right there. You're welcome. Yeah, I don't think that'll do much.
Infernity Archfiend. Vamos a darle un poco de amor al Infernity. Obviamente, a 2 no creo que se repita lo poderoso que era el Infernity en aquella época. Pero, como vengo diciendo, de 1 a 2 y a ver qué pasa.